Look, it's not just as simple as there being an undertaking taken and Imran Khan is liable to uphold it or not. The interesting thing is that if you look at the order, the Supreme Court has waded its way into an unnecessary political situation. And it did so knowing that it was unnecessary for the Supreme Court to enter, because on the 25th of May, when this notice was taken, when this issue was heard, it was heard directly at the Supreme Court on the petition of the Islamabad High Court Bar and with the intervention of the PTI. It didn't make its way through the relevant appellate process, granted because of the urgency of it, but it wasn't like they'd knocked on all the relevant doors. I think they tried at the Islamabad High Court and failed. But this was the Supreme Court optionally deciding to hear this matter, not hearing it in routine course. And when they heard it, it wasn't a single hearing. So the order that they have, which I've pulled out, starts off by saying that in the earlier part of the day, we've heard the relevant police authorities and Dr. Babar Awan, Senior Advocate Supreme Court for the PTI. We had directed, they're saying this is how the order starts, that we'd heard them earlier in the course of the day. We had directed Babar Awan, as well as Mr. Faisal Fareed, to seek instructions from PTI leadership regarding the venue at which they wish to hold the protest rally. We also directed them to seek assurances from the party leadership that the workers' supporters would remain peaceful and follow guidelines and not disrupt traffic. And on instructions from the afterwards, now this order is recording what happened in the later part of the day. On instructions from the top leadership of PTI, Dr. Babar Awan, learned senior ASC, has submitted that the venue which was provided for the rally of JUIF some time ago, being the ground area between H9 and G9, should be made available to PTI also to hold its rally. The application dated 23rd May, moved on behalf of the PTI, mentions the same venue. Now, the court then goes on in paragraph 3 to record that in view of the fact that a categorical assurance has been given on behalf of the top leadership of PTI that their rally would not cause any inconvenience or blockage of the highway nor otherwise inconvenience the public and citizenry at large, and that it shall be ensured that the rally is conducted in a peaceful and lawful manner without in particular causing any damage of any nature to public or private property, we direct the Chief Commissioner, Islamabad Capital Territory, to provide the same venue that they did to the JUIF. And then the rest is history. You can run the visuals along with, whilst I'm reading this, that there was, trees were burning, which someone excused by saying, oh, they were trying to get rid of the tear gas taste, because there's a myth out there that the tear gas smoke is repelled if you burn trees. Ridiculous. And there was widespread mayhem. Metro bus stations were ransacked. And as you know, as your question poses, Imran Khan claims he never knew they told him not to go to D-Chowk. Now, the Supreme Court isn't saying, we'll let you go if you promise not to go to D-Chowk. The Supreme Court is taking a promise made by Babar Awan and Faisal Fareed, where the court order records that they have spoken to the PTI top leadership, which here would mean Asad Umar and Imran Khan, or whatever else they've come and tried to explain later. But they've spoken to the leadership already. They have taken an assurance about how the H9, G9 area where the JUIF aggregated is appropriate, and they accept it. And then after having taken that acceptance, they have now come to the Supreme Court to say, yes, that all right, that's what we want. And upon that, the Supreme Court gave its directions. Now, as you see, there's two independent cans of worms here that later opened. Firstly, the PTI basically disproved this statement, which is why Babar Awan is in more trouble than just the simple process would warrant right now, that he's being represented by the Supreme Court Bar President, who is coming and saying he's just a lawyer. It's not just that, because if the Supreme Court order is to be taken as accurate, which, it's our job to do, it said that Babar Awan came in the latter half of the day and promised that he's spoken to the top leadership and they had agreed that they would accumulate in only the place where they didn't go. So it's on Babar Awan completely. Now, because it's on Babar Awan, it's either on Babar Awan completely or it's on Imran Khan completely, because either Babar Awan is lying to the court when he said that he's spoken to the top leadership and he comes and commits, which is what Imran Khan is saying. Or Imran Khan is lying to the court where he says, no one spoke to me, I didn't know. Because both of those people cannot stand on what they're standing on right now. Because it is that position on which the Supreme Court opened the different can of worms, which it didn't need to open. The unnecessary can of worms, where the court waded into this issue. My issue here is that there is no scope of perhaps Imran Khan didn't know in this order. Because this order, according to the order, if the court wants to say Imran Khan didn't know, then the court is saying Babar Awan lied to us. So it's either Babar Awan lied to us or Imran Khan is now lying to us. The Supreme Court can't get away or let them get away with them saying what by top leadership we meant someone else, and then that someone else even saying I didn't talk to anyone, because it's not, Asad Umar isn't saying that's what I promised and I kind of got it wrong because I didn't turn over to Imran Khan. He isn't saying that. Everyone in that rally is saying, well, we didn't know. So it's either them that's lying or it's Babar Awan who misrepresented to the court that day. It can't be they're both all right. After all, they're the PTI. It can't be that. There isn't that space or scope. And the Supreme Court, in answering the focus of this question, the Supreme Court extraordinarily waded into this. It extraordinarily granted this relief. It is now extraordinarily giving a very, very wide berth to the shenanigans that the PTI is posing. And then it further extraordinarily, during these hearings, decided to warn the IG of Punjab of consequences of suo motu if he doesn't file an FIR for the later tragic attack upon Imran Khan. So this is completely uncharted territory, even for our Supreme Court, which is, if it was a ship, it would be called uncharted territory. So it is all very interesting, and it isn't good for the reputation of the PTI or the Supreme Court. I think the Supreme Court is making sure that the consequences of this are going to be vast. So I think it's making sure, especially since Imran Khan recently before the Islamabad High Court made it look like more that it was Islamabad High Court being held in contempt by Imran Khan than the other way around. So I think the Supreme Court is now being cautious when it should have firstly been cautious when it was taking notice of this issue. I'm not going to pass a verdict on whether it's being easy on Imran until these matters culminate. But it isn't looking very good in terms of the actions of the court in the past with regards to other political parties and their leaders versus what's happening right now. And I don't think it's going to be that easy to let off both Babar Awan, Faisal Fareed, both that team, and Imran Khan and Asad Umar and that other team. It's not going to be easy to let both those teams off the hook unless the court is prepared to accept that their order was recorded in error. So it's one of those things. Everyone can't be right here. You made a promise. Upon that promise, you went and knowingly flouted it, which is what the government is saying. Due to that flouting, millions of rupees of damage was caused, millions of rupees of livelihood was damaged, millions of rupees of work was lost. Would you think that warrants contempt? I do. At least an answer. I'm not saying put the guy in jail, but at least get to the bottom of why the court decided to take this Babar Awan Saab's, what's it called? Let me read it again. Babar Awan's categorical assurance that he has been given on behalf of the top leadership of PTI. So I just need a categorical assurance that this matter will be investigated properly, because it just needs to be investigated properly. There were consequences to this.